Well, speaking of that whole thing with debacle with Disney, uh,
Hmm.
I think that's probably one of the things that has kind of woken up a lot of people, with especially a lot of normies, and also conservatives, of how much power, cultural power, a lot of these institutions have, and how much we've lost. And
Hmm.
you recently wrote an opinion editorial in
Hmm.
Texas Scorecard, and you could discuss about it in a little bit. But yeah, as I was reading it, and I was like thinking, man, I totally agree with that, and that's exactly what I've been thinking. We've lost all this cultural power, all this institutional power, and ceded it to basically the corporate left. Not necessarily progressives or anything like that, but these people are, they're in the left wing of the political spectrum, in my opinion, but
Hmm.
they are definitely corporatists. They're definitely
Yeah.
people who are in it for the money.
Hmm.
They'll pander to whoever they can to get that. And because we, as you and I, are probably, we consider ourselves as conservatives. We A lot of us, we've our parents and our previous generation have opted to go for, for actual real work, what's considered real work, like
Hmm.
in talk, and kind of left the arts and entertainment and tech industry kind of like at the wayside. And
Hmm.
many of us, and it's understandable. We're built to grow our families, to have families, and have secure jobs. But aside from that, because we've lost all this cultural power, they could just run roughshod on us, and a lot of people just hate us in many ways because they're just trained. They're so ingrained and trained to hate Republicans and conservatives.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a couple things going there. I think part of the reason the Gina Carano thing was so big of a deal to a lot of us, and some of us had a hard time putting our thumb on exactly why this was the straw that broke the camel's back. And it's that
Hmm.
Gina Carano, like when they first started silencing people on the right, like the Alex Joneses and stuff,
Hmm.
and we're like, okay, yeah, I kind of get it. But Gina Carano wasn't like some sort of conservative firebrand. She was
Yeah.
like moderate.
Yeah.
Like we're looking at him going, wow, if they silence her and she's milder than I am, and I consider myself to be reasonable, then what's to keep my head from being on the chopping block next? That's where they want to go.
Hmm.
Um, but you're right. We pulled out of the culture, and what I didn't mention in the article, a place that gets a lot of the blame is, particularly for those who grew up in conservative um, Christian or evangelical circles, we looked at a lot of those places like the arts and media,
Hmm.
and they had already started to sour at that point. And our culture, our subculture, kind of went, well, those places belong to the devil, stay out of them. And then we just gave it to them altogether, and they were like, thank you, and they ran with it.
Yeah.
So we're
I
over here.
understand. Thank you for joining me in this clip from the Free Miccast podcast. Please follow us in Rumble, and please subscribe to our channel in rumble.com/freemiclive. From there, you could find us doing weekly videos on interviews and podcasts, and also some commentary about culture, politics, and anything in between. So we look forward to seeing you there.